World Channel is here to help your middle and high school students stay connected to educators despite school closures. Find some of the best science and history documentaries from public media, with lesson plans and other assets, curated by educators and PBS Learning Media Online. Join us on Monday through Friday during the day. Log on to worldchannel.org for more details. Don't be tardy.
PBS Online. Share, tweet, watch.
Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
PBS, where the drama is on Sunday nights. The series premiere of The Trouble with Maggie Cole.
I'm going to be on the radio.
Flesh and Blood on Masterpiece.
Something doesn't seem quite right.
And Cobra.
I promise you, there will be a reckoning.
The series premiere of The Trouble with Maggie Cole. Flesh and Blood on Masterpiece. And Cobra.
Sunday on Arizona PBS.
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots.
Is America headed for a constitutional crisis?
I'm being facetious. I said, what country are we in?
Jelani Cobb investigates the early warnings.
There's a dispute over which votes might count. Republicans control some really key levers of power.
And allegations of voter suppression.
We're setting the ground rules for how votes are going to be cast and counted come November.
All new Tuesday night at 9 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Friendship Village Tempe, a retirement community for over 30 years, offers independent living with residency options, lifelong learning classes, as well as continuing care. Information at friendshipvillageaz.com.
I'm Susan Linkus of the Linkus Group, a fee-based registered investment advisor specializing in financial planning, investment management, insurance strategies, and more. LinkusGroup.com, investing for life.
As COVID-19 cases continue to rise, we take a look at the struggles many kids in Arizona are facing during the pandemic.
Plus, the new ending date for the 2020 census could affect the most underrepresented communities in the country. We'll explain why.
And how different ethnic groups are claiming vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris as their own. We break it down later this half hour.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Milan Andrade.
And I'm Sean Rice. Thank you for joining us. It's been nearly 10 months since the first recorded positive case of coronavirus in the U.S. And since early August, Arizona's positive cases per day have remained under 1,000. But recent numbers released by the Arizona Department of Health Services show a concerning trend. Last week, the total number of COVID-19 cases in our state shot up from 683 to 894. And this week, the same thing. We went from 683 recorded cases yesterday to 902 today. K through 12 schools are seeing an increase in cases as well as kids return to the classroom. Right now, there are 77 total coronavirus cases in Maricopa County schools. 51 of those are students and 26 are staff members. Josh LeBaire, the director of the Biodesign Institute at ASU, says mitigation protocols like mask wearing and social distancing are important as ever.
We need to remember that this virus is now always with us. What happened over the summer means that it is widespread in our community and it's always there. The embers are always burning at a low level. And if we let the conditions get right, that fire is just going to start bursting out again. So now's a good time to take those actions.
Testing continues to be a strong suit in Arizona, as almost 2 million tests have been recorded for COVID-19 thus far. For more information on the health and wellness of Arizonans, visit azdhs.gov.
Across the U.S., almost 700,000 children and teens have tested positive for COVID-19. A report from the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association shows the youth of Arizona are some of the most affected affected. Cronkite News reporter Harry Croton learned about the struggle many are facing in the valley.
About a month ago, baby Jay contracted a fever that at one point reached 103 degrees. His parents had also felt ill, but not to that extent.
Mine went away like within 24 hours. So I didn't think, and it was a mild fever, so I didn't think too much of it. But his kept going for, I think, about 4 days, 3 or 4 days.
Katie Gibson McLean and her husband Reese didn't initially think COVID-19 was to blame for their mild symptoms, but they got tested anyway and learned they both had the virus.
Once his test came back positive, I set up a rapid test and I called Jay's pediatrician back, and they said that they would like Jay to get tested at that point.
Children and youth account for close to 11% of all COVID cases across the U.S., but some 14% of positive cases in Arizona. A lack of specific data from all 50 states, as well as lower testing rates among youth, suggests that number may be even higher.
The data that we have so far is not the whole picture. So we know that, there's definitely more in the community.
Another factor could be that some 59% of Arizonans 19 or younger are children of color. And research shows these youth are more likely to have health problems that put them in danger of contracting COVID. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that Hispanic youth with the virus have been hospitalized 3 times as frequently as whites. Black youth have been hospitalized twice as often.
Because of underlying structural inequalities in our society, some people are going to be at greater risk of being exposed to a virus like this than others.
If children and teenagers do get the virus, data shows that they're less likely than adults to get sick. But Dr. Wasim Balan at Phoenix Children's emphasizes the importance of remaining prepared and remaining cautious. Wash your hands, social distance, and always keep a packet of masks handy.
Those are the 3 things that are proven to, help limit the spread of the virus. And, we should continue operate with those recommendations in mind for the foreseeable future.
After hunting for places that would test an 8-month-old, Jay's mother finally took him to a Banner Health site at the Arizona Fairgrounds. He received a swab test, which came back negative, but Jay's mom thinks the test wasn't done properly.
She was scared about, I think, putting the swab in too far or how long she was going to be able to do it for. She didn't want to hurt him.
The family quarantined together for a few weeks and have since recovered. But even as life returns to normal, Katie and Reese say they wish there were more resources available for parents who may experience what they did. Harry Croton, Cronkite News.
The National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine released plans this month for allocation of a COVID vaccine once it's available. Children will be part of Phase 3 of distribution behind healthcare workers, the elderly, and those with underlying health risks.
The window to register to vote in Arizona just got a little smaller. Arizona voter registration deadline was originally extended to October 23rd. Now, an appeals court has reversed that decision, making the deadline tomorrow, October 15th. Carolina Hassett from our Washington Bureau explains what this could mean for election 2020.
The ruling from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals did not come down until late last night, and that has advocates scrambling to get voters registered by tomorrow.
Giving us a notice with such little time to react, it hurts our community.
The extension came from a lawsuit filed by 2 Arizona advocacy groups that claimed the coronavirus shutdown prevented them from reaching potential new voters. A federal judge agreed last week and ordered the registration deadline extended. Advocates quickly took advantage.
As of today, over 42,000 people have registered to vote since the voter registration deadline has been extended.
But Arizona's Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, appealed the extension, and the court Tuesday said registration would have to end Thursday. Hobbs' office was encouraging people this morning to get registered while they still can, and groups have set up hotlines and statewide texting numbers to get as many people registered as possible.
Familia Vota, along with our partner organizations, are going to continue to work tirelessly to ensure that we can register as many eligible voters as possible so that they can participate in this election.
We're using whatever we can to do what we can to register literally hundreds and hopefully thousands of people over these next 2 days.
With the deadline looming at midnight tomorrow, Marin said the message is simple.
Register to vote now, show up to vote, make sure that you are a voice for your home, for your community.
One plus for advocates. By not ending registration immediately, the court's order means all those people who registered since October 5th can still vote this fall. Bolding urged voters to act.
What we expect is that our election officials will do whatever they can to ensure that people are able to vote in a safe and secure manner and that we get the results timely.
Boulder said he was glad for even a limited extension, despite Tuesday's ruling.
But we're still proud that we stood and fought for democracy.
In Washington, Carolina Hassett, Cronkite News.
The second presidential debate between President Donald Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden will not be happening. Instead, the two candidates will face off in prime time with dueling town halls on competing networks. This decision came after President Trump objected to a virtual format in light of his positive coronavirus diagnosis. So tomorrow, Biden will appear on an ABC town hall in Philadelphia, and President Trump will appear on an NBC town hall in Miami. Both events will air at 6 p.m., and both news organizations say they'll be held in accordance with state and local government regulations.
Government and private groups have been working hard to get all Arizona residents to fill out their census forms. But now they're working really hard after U.S. Supreme Court ruled yesterday that the Census Bureau could stop counting, something that the Bureau plans to do tomorrow. Maithili Gubi brings us the details from our Washington Bureau.
The new deadline came as a surprise to advocates who thought they had until the end of this month to get people counted.
And, knock on doors, drop literature, all of those things we had planned to do this weekend, thinking that we had time. We don't.
The ruling yesterday was the latest in a seesaw battle between the Bureau and advocates who sued for a longer count, arguing that an undercount would hurt underrepresented communities.
We've been working really, really hard, but now that we have, with just pretty much hours' notice that our census count is going to conclude, we've reached out to all of the groups to ramp up our efforts.
At stake are congressional representation and potentially millions in federal funds. Guzman says that each uncounted person results in $3,000 per year less in federal dollars to local governments.
It's real hurtful to people. Undercounts are used on many things, as you know, not just on the number of delegates that you send to Congress, but also on how much money you're getting for very important projects, and those things range across the board.
The census said it had counted 99.9% of all homes in the U.S. by yesterday. Governor Doug Ducey's office boasted today about the completion rate. Arizona Complete Count Committee Chair Debbie Johnson said, quote, Arizona is well positioned to receive its fair share of federal funding and equal representation for Arizonans for the next decade. But Beth Jarrow says minority communities will be hit hardest by the undercount.
But there are places, again, like tribal areas where, the pandemic hit those areas particularly hard. The response rates are low for those reasons. And a couple of final weeks of push and communications from within the community may have been the thing that got a better enumeration in those areas. So
the Gila River Indian community and the Navajo Nation were plaintiffs on the original lawsuit that sought to make the Census Bureau to keep counting. After the Supreme Court's decision, Navajo Nation President Jonathan Nez said in a statement, quote, it's disheartening that the highest court of the land ignored the devastating impacts that COVID-19 has had on the Navajo Nation and the census count. The governor of the Gila River Indian community called it a bitter pill to swallow. Meanwhile, groups like Chicanos por la Causa are continuing to boost the census counts to help Latino communities be heard.
We want to make sure that those communities are counted because they weren't 10 years ago. Imagine the huge disparities there.
In Washington, Maithili Gubi, Cronkite News.
Coming up on Cronkite News, a new poll sheds light on how Arizonans feel about the Phoenix Police Department.
Plus, a bill proposes expanding Sunset Crater. What this means for the national park, next.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. I don't go anywhere without my Passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Senators got another round of questions in for Judge Amy Coney Barrett on the third day of the Supreme Court confirmation hearings. As the upcoming presidential election looms over the highly politicized hearings, more questions were raised surrounding the president's power to delay the elections after Coney Barrett did not answer with a yes or no when asked yesterday if the Constitution gives a president that power. Democratic Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois asked again today.
Is that still your response?
Senator, I've given that response to every hypothetical that I've been asked in the hearings. And as I said yesterday, I do that regardless whether it's easy or hard. I don't do that to try to, whether the question, would be easy or hard. I don't try to do that to signal it, but I do that because it would be inappropriate for me to make a comment. And I don't think I've answered any legal hypotheticals in keeping with the Justice Ginsburg rule.
After today's questioning, the committee plans to hear from outside witnesses tomorrow, setting the table to vote on the nomination next week and send it to the full Senate for a pre-election day vote.
Governor Doug Ducey's financial policy has been downgraded by a well-known think tank. The Cato Institute gave the Republican a D in the fiscal policy report card on America's governors for 2020. Ducey, who is in his second and last term as governor, has seen his Cato grade decrease over the years. The governor earned an A from Cato on his first report card in 2016, and then that number dropped all the way to a C in 2018. In year's report card, Cato praised Ducey for having pro-market instincts on many policy issues, but marked him down for spending. 26 governors, including 10 Democrats, earned higher grades than Ducey.
Despite the call to defund the police, a new poll shows Phoenix residents want more officers on their streets. It also shows the majority of Phoenicians give the Phoenix Police Department a passing grade and view them in a positive light. According to the OH Predictive Insights survey, 59% of voters say the department deserves an A or a B, while just 15% say it deserves a D or an F. The poll also noted there's a bit of hometown pride when it comes to the city's view of Phoenix PD in general, and specifically on the topics of response times, violent crime, and looting and rioting. Arizonans also believe Phoenix officers do a good or better job than departments in other large cities. The Phoenix Law Enforcement Association commissioned this survey.
Finally tonight, Senator Martha McSally and House Representative Tom O'Halloran proposed a bipartisan bill to expand the Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument boundary. Cronkite News reporter Nicole Long has more information on what this means for the park.
The Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument Boundary Adjustment Act was introduced by Republican Senator Martha McSally in September. The bill will modify 97 acres of federal land into the care of the National Park Service.
The biggest thing is the buildings associated with that, because some of the land, the outbuildings for the national park are within the boundaries of the Coconino National Forest. And that made it a little more difficult from an operational standpoint and a visitor experience. So, and not to mention repairs and maintenance and everything else. So they decided to come to an agreement.
Because the land is being transferred between two government agencies, a bill had to be proposed to make the agreement final. O'Halloran joined McSally's staff on this bill, the representative stating that the mutual agreements with the services made for a smooth collaboration.
Well, the park itself, just from the standpoint of the buildings and maintenance of the buildings, the National Park Service will not have to go to the Forest Service every time and say, we'd like to do this and we'd like to do that. And for the visitor experience, whether it's I think it was the visitor center and the bunkhouse and other outbuildings that were just outside the monument's boundary, but in the forest. Now they're able to manage it, and the visitors are able to use that area as part of the national park instead of the national forest, and that will allow them to have a much better experience within the area.
A representative from the park stated that they do not comment on pending legislation. Nicole Long, Cronkite News.
The bill was introduced September 15th and is awaiting further action from Congress.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.arizonapbs.org.
Next on Break It Down, how different ethnic groups are claiming vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris as their own.
Thanks so much, Representative P10, for joining us today. So let's break it down. Kamala Harris is the Democratic candidate for vice president. And while we know that this is a historic candidacy for so many reasons, one that's getting a lot of attention and a lot of us are thinking about is the fact that she is the daughter of immigrants. She's the daughter of an Indian mother and a Jamaican immigrant father. We have lots of groups that seem to want to claim her. And the loudest voices seem to be coming from the African American community here in the United States and also the Indian American community here in the United States. Which groups get kind of dibs per se, and how important is that conversation in the larger discussion?
Well, I think the main thing I think is very interesting that when we do have someone who is biracial, that controversy always comes up. And for me, it feels a little hypocritical because there was a time right after emancipation where this whole classification of your bloodline was very critical, very important. If you remember the one drop of blood, if you had one drop of Negro blood, you were Black, no questions asked. It wasn't evaluated in some quantitative measure. You were just Black. And it was the same thing with Meghan Markle. Remember when she married into royalty, all of a sudden, I mean, I listened to the news for days and they never said that she was a Black woman, which she is, one drop of blood rule, if you want to go by that. They always said that she was of mixed heritage, biracial, but they never used the term of being Black. She's an African-American woman, her mother's African-American, and if you go by those old standards, she's African-American. So it's always interesting that when Black women move higher up the echelon, like starting to break all those ceilings, then it becomes something that they want to quantify. You know, she's half Black, half Indian and all of that. And the main thing is she's a human being. She's a human being, she's African-American heritage, and that's it. But they always want to dice it up a bit. And I just think it's racist and it's hypocritical.
I think you're 100% right on. But I will tell you, as an Indian American woman myself, and you know, Kamala Harris was a presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, and so it's not like we're not aware of her, and she's obviously been a senator from California. But the day that she was announced as the vice presidential candidate, I cried, and I didn't think I would be as emotional as I ended up being. And I remember I put out a tweet that day saying there's an Indian American woman on the ticket, and how much that meant to me and how much it meant to have a discussion with my daughter and show my daughter that there was somebody that looked like us on the ticket and had a background and a history like us on the ticket. And so I probably claimed her that day, right? And just from kind of an overwhelming sense of emotion that came out of it. And I was wondering if you had a similar experience, because I saw a lot, especially in social media, especially from African American women and also immigrants, saying how emotional they were with that moment, regardless of where they were kind of on the political spectrum.
I don't think I was as emotional as you. I go way back. I remember when Shirley Chisholm ran for president, and I was very proud. I think she was an immigrant. Her family were immigrants as well. It was a very, very proud moment. But to me, what always overshadows that is the attempt to start quantifying her. You know, like saying she's half Indian, she's half Black. I say to people when so which half is it? It's not a half, you're blended. I mean, you are one whole composite human being. I guess you can break down the DNA, but she's a whole human being. As many people, I think at this day and age, there are probably very few people who are pure Caucasians, pure Africans, pure anything. I mean, we have been such a mixture. I know, like, you wouldn't think looking at me that I have an Irish grandfather. And it's interesting, growing up, my mother never mentioned that she was half white. Never. It was never even discussed or considered or anything. She's our mother, she's Black.
And I think everything you're saying in terms of how diverse all of our backgrounds are part of the American story. There just seems to be a lot of inspiration in lots of communities and women in general by this candidacy. Is she being asked to be too many things by too many people? Is the burden too high?
Yes, I do. I think it's a very heavy burden. It's hypocritical. And as you know, race is a man-made concept. And I would prefer if we just looked at her as a wonderful, well-accomplished, well-educated human being. What's the purpose of identifying people by race? The original intent was to disenfranchise, to determine who was superior, who was inferior. So it would be good if we stopped that. We're all human beings here. And that other thing too, that they always say that we're a melting pot. Blacks don't melt into that whole mixture. Like with me, I have 2 sons, 4 grandsons, and they will never just be looked at as young men. They're looked at as African American. That whole thing that we're going to melt in and blend in and be considered the phenomenal human beings that we are, that's a difficult thing. It's a very difficult construct, but I think a lot is being put on her. But I'm sure she knew what she signed up for.
And speaking of strong women, groundbreaking women, you are a member of the Arizona House of Representatives, and you're also African-American woman and the only African-American woman in our House. So I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, do you think that this candidacy and everything that's come with it, do you think it'll inspire other women in our state, and especially women of color, to run for elected office?
I certainly hope so, because we need to maintain diversity. We need to have different perspectives and different voices. We need all people at the table, not just white men making decisions, particularly about our Black lives or our bodies or whatever. So I would certainly hope for it. And it is a courageous thing to do. You know, you're putting yourself out there in so many ways, but it's necessary. It's really, truly a necessary sacrifice for the greatest good for all of us.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, because honestly, I'm sure that when you were elected, there was lots of young girls that looked at you and felt the exact same way, and lots of moms that had the exact same conversations that I had with my daughter just recently. So thanks so much for your representation. And look, thanks for joining us today to kind of break it down on Kamala Harris. And we know how much this is impacting us in the present, but I think it's really important to think about how this can be part of changing our future as well. So thanks so much.
My pleasure and my honor. Thank you for having me.
This hour of local news is made possible by contributions from the Friends of PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you. If you have comments about Arizona PBS News, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Thank you. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
Legacy Village Salt River is proud to support Arizona PBS. Opening in early fall with a new location in North Scottsdale. just off the 101 in Via de Ventura. Independent living, assisted living, and memory care. More info and tours at legacyvillagesaltriver.com or 480-527-2000.
The greatest predator since the dinosaur may be living in your house. So what makes a cat, and how have they thrived across the planet? This is the story of cats, an 11 million year evolutionary journey into our homes.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS.
On the Age of Nature, Awakening. Discover our changing relationship with nature. How the lessons of the past and nature's amazing ability to recover are unlocking a bright new future.
When given time,